I decided that I wanted to try using writing prompts for a week because I am currently rereading the rough draft of my completed manuscript for my Project DE, and I kind of miss the act of writing, and so I decided to take 5 days and sit down every day and pick a writing prompt online and use it. And here's how it went. So today is day 1 of using a writing prompt every day for a week, and I think I'm gonna go to Pinterest today because I have a board entitled Writing Prompts with 1,856 pins in it. So I'm just gonna scroll through it, pick one, and then spend 20 minutes because I have about 25 minutes before I need to leave for an appointment. So I'm gonna spend 20 minutes writing and just see what we can come up with. So here's my Pinterest board writing prompts. I'm just gonna scroll and point to figure out which one I'm picking for the day. Oh. The Tooth Fairy is Fae propaganda. It teaches your kids that it's okay to invite the Fae into your home and sell them parts of your body. That's fun. That's definitely what I'm gonna write. Let's see how it goes. All right, I have my timer here for 20 minutes. We're just gonna hit start and get started writing. All right, that is it. Okay, so I just spent 20 minutes working on this writing prompt and I got 660 words. It ended up taking kind of a prose poem form, almost like a warning poem, which is really fun. And I've noticed that I really like writing those, which was interesting because when I was writing the first paragraph of it, I started getting worried that I didn't know enough about the Fae, that I was gonna have a really hard time writing this, but that does not seem to be the case because I got 660 words. So timing kind of got away from me on the first day, but now I'm gonna read to you guys a paragraph of what I wrote on the first day. Warned against rings of mushrooms in the forest, told not to step inside them, for doing so would put one in the realm of the Fae, but told that they should welcome Fae into their sleeping chambers, that welcoming a Fae into one's bedroom is acceptable and encouraged. The Tooth Fairy is Fae propaganda. The Fae are not what they are told to be in the stories told to children and infants. The Fae are not small, pastel creatures with wings and fairy dust. The Fae are tall and spindly. The Fae are mean and crooked. The Fae are what adults fear in the night. When you trust one with parts of your body, even when exchanged for coins, you are welcoming it to follow you. And follow it will, waiting for more pieces of bone. It is not an exchange, it is a harvest. All right, it is day 2 of using writing prompts every day for a week. I think I'm gonna go to thewriteprompts.com and see if I can find something on their website that I want to write about today. I used to love this website when I was in middle school and early high school, and it's actually how I came up with some of my ideas for my book LRF that I wrote in high school. And a lot of the writing prompts that I used ended up getting cut because the ideas changed, but it has been really productive when I've used this site in the past. Okay, so I'm looking at their website here, and I think I'm going to use an image prompt today. So I'm going to do it like I did yesterday. I'm just going to scroll and point. That's very outside my comfort zone. I think I'm going to give myself like 10 minutes because this is out of my comfort zone, and so that'll just get me started. If I'm in a groove, I'll keep going, but like 20 minutes seems like too much for this for me right now. All right, that's it. So what I ended up writing here was, I don't know, kind of fun actually. It makes a lot more sense than the one that I wrote yesterday. It seems like it's starting something, like a chapter or a story, like a short story or something. I'm not totally sure what that story is, but I like it, so I'm gonna read it to you guys. Cameron sat, strumming his black guitar in the meadow. He plucked at the strings, waiting for a thought or song to come to him. He did this whenever he was struggling creatively. Today was one of those days, and he wasn't sure the meadow was going to hold the answers it normally did. He wasn't sure that the tree he leaned up against was going to reveal lyrics, just result in a cramped back. And he wasn't sure he'd find the answer in the green grass that poked at his legs. He hummed a few chords while he plucked at the strings with his fingers, but the sound was lost on the wind. It did not howl back at him. The peaceful meadow was too peaceful. There were no birds chirping. It'd be too late in the season for that. A branch snapped behind him. Cameron turned around, expecting to see something, an animal or something, but he saw nothing in that field behind him, just his house a ways off. He turned his head to peer around the other side of the tree he was leaned up against, but he saw nothing. He settled back in, picking at a few more chords, his left hand sliding up and down the guitar with no effort. His hands tried playing a few familiar chords when he realized he hadn't felt the wind rustling his hair or tugging at his shirt in a while. He stood, holding his guitar by the neck as he stood up and peered around the tree. He was alone in the meadow. I don't know, kind of fun. I don't know what would happen next, but it seems like everything I write takes a slightly darker turn, so that's probably where this was headed. Because I did a writing sprint for 10 minutes on this image prompt, I wrote 266 words. Okay, so today is day 3 of using writing prompts for a week. I'm actually really excited about doing this one today. I've enjoyed doing the past 2. I think they've gone pretty well, and so I was looking forward, like when I woke up this morning, I was like, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I haven't done it yet. It's 1:30 p.m., but I had an interview earlier today. That's why wearing my nice little collared shirt. Yeah, and then I was just looking online. I just Googled like the best writing prompts, trying to find like a website or something, and I found one, and I scrolled down and I randomly pointed, and I wasn't filming it, but I think I'm gonna go with this one. It says, the prompt is, the sun rose for the final time. It sounds like something I would want to write about. This is the website I visited. It's getfreewrite.com, and the article title is Writing Prompt 60 Ideas You Can Use Today. I feel like that was a pretty good writing sprint. I set the timer for about 15 minutes, and I ended up getting 423 words. I feel like this could be the start of a story, which is really fun because this is actually something that I would write about. I know that dystopian isn't like as in as it used to be, but dystopian's always really fun to write. Yeah, like the end of the world as we know it. I don't know, this was a really good one. Here's what I have as of right now. The sun rose for the final time. Claire didn't know that when it happened, didn't stop to appreciate it. No one did. Claire had gotten up, gotten her coffee from the kitchen, scowled at the sun glaring at her through the windows, and gotten ready for the day. She went off to work at her job. She went home at 6 in the evening to see her dog and make herself dinner. Spaghetti. She remembered it now, how she might never have pasta or tomato sauce again. Never get to eat as many carbs as she wanted. When the sun went down, she didn't watch it say farewell to the clouds, or watch it set behind her as she watched Netflix on her couch, cuddled up with her dog. She didn't notice its absence until the next morning, when she'd rolled over in bed to turn off her blaring alarm clock, only to glimpse the time. 6:04 a.m. She rubbed at her eyes and looked again. 6:04 a.m. She turned over and looked across her dark room to her window. Where the blinds were still shut, there was no sunlight peeking around it as she dragged herself out of bed. She walked into the kitchen with a blanket pulled around her to get her coffee. Her apartment was cold, colder than the 70 degrees the thermostat was set to before she went to bed. The world outside as dark as if it were midnight. She glanced at the clock in her kitchen, 6:06 a.m. Her dog was at her legs, asking to be let out. Claire finished her coffee and got dressed, sliding on some cover-up and mascara to make her look like she wasn't dead, before venturing to the door and grabbing the leash. She hooked it onto her dog's collar, slipped on some shoes, and opened the front door. A blast of cold air hit, and she reeled back in her dog that had gone darting outside. She shut the door and grabbed a coat from her coat closet and went back outside. She stood there in the cold, her breath visible in the air, shivering as her dog walked in circles. She watched her dog and realized he was leaving paw prints in the frost. Frost. It was June. Yeah, I feel like that's something that I could do something with and could actually have fun continuing, so I might have to. We'll see. Alright, today is day 4 of using writing prompts for a week, and today I think I'm going to use something on Pinterest again. Alright, I'm going back to my writing prompts board. I'm just going to scroll and point. I'm so tired of being the girl with the sword, the dragon slayer queen, the one to save them all. Just for once I don't want to fight. I want to be fought for. But I might be asking too much. I have everything set up. I'm going to write for 10 or 15 minutes and we'll see how this goes. Okay, so I just wrote for 10 minutes and I got 316 words. I kind of outlined what would happen in this story, and essentially there's this dragon slayer that's done really, really well enough that like all of the other dragon slayers have moved away. Until one day she receives a letter from this princess from a neighboring city, land, whatever, and then basically wants to court the dragon slayer. And so the dragon slayer goes to this other city, and then there's a threat to the dragon slayer's city, like of another dragon or something that's come to like threaten this town, and another dragon slayer emerges and like kills this dragon, and then the two dragon slayers, at least this paint by the way, but then the two dragon slayers have to like go head to head or something. I don't know, could be interesting. And today is day 5 of using writing prompts every day for a week. Going back to the writeprompts.com today, and these used to be my absolute favorite, the Dirty Dozen Fridays writing prompts, and so I'm gonna scroll down and pick one. Okay, so I need to set my timer for the next 15 minutes and write something using these 12 words. 18, market, office, king, interrupted, cautious, tower, flesh, stringer, Jesus, discarded, booth, 212. Okay, so that took me about 5 minutes. I'm not saying it's good. It's definitely not. I used a lot of the words really quickly, and so this passage is barely 113 words. Okay, so again, my words were 18, market, office, king, interrupted, cautious, tower, flesh, stringer, Jesus, discharged, booth, and 221. There's only supposed to be 12 words. Okay, well I guess there's 13 instead of 12. Interesting. Here's what I wrote. In the office, cautiousness was king. The men in charge did not like those that stepped out of line, and it was important to keep all of one's inner urges to change the protocol in line. 18 days since the last accident, which was amazing considering the 221 employees stored up in the tower, but the streak was interrupted by a part-time stringer. He was discharged for telling people how to guess the market. One was never supposed to pretend like they knew which way the stocks were going to go. Jesus. He was nearly flayed for his performance, his flesh getting chewed out by the bosses in the farthest office booth. Interesting, but these are always fun. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm really happy that I ended up doing this writing experiment. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the creativity and like just like the forced flowing of words and like stepping out of my comfort zone with some of these writing prompts. And now I'm curious, have you guys ever tried something like this? And do you want to try something like this? If you do, please let me know down below. Make sure you leave a comment, a like, and subscribe for more content like this. I post videos every Monday and sometimes Thursday. I will see you guys next week with another video. Bye.